All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back on the WD Broadcasting Network, ready for race number 4 of the LTP Super Series season, the Tipsy Tuesdays 125 here at the new Smyrna Speedway. Qualifying has just wrapped up. All these drivers have taken a lap. We've got 24 super late models on the property. We're going to be going 125 laps. All 24 cars going to start here this evening. We will, I think, have a short little last chance qualifier to sit through here. Yeah, we will have a last chance qualifier where the last 4 cars in qualifying will run 15 laps. Alrighty, drivers making their final adjustments. And then they will have a 15-lap short little warm-up race, if you will. All 4 of them are going to transfer into tonight's Tipsy Tuesdays 125. Let's look at the track we're racing at here tonight. New Smyrna Speedway down in Florida. Speed Week's getting ready to kick off down there at the beginning of February. To kick off the racing season, it's just about time. We're about midway through January, and this off season has flown by. New Smyrna half mile, a little bit of a different half mile. Not as textbook as you'd think it is with the shape and the first glance at it. Both corners very unique. 1 and 2, you tend to drive up towards the outside lane, and then 3 and 4, you want to wrap that yellow line down there as tight as you can and carry as much momentum as you can. They'll get the 1 to go signal. We'll send them green next time by. Let's look at the schedule coming into tonight. We wrapped up Kern last week, 125 laps there. We only had 3 caution flags. And then tonight we go to New Smyrna, and then next week, the longest race of the season so far, the RJW 21 Management 200 at Hickory. That's going to be a fun one. Guys are going to have to do a lot to win that race. It's going to be a long race. The track position's going to mean a lot. But ready to kick things off here at New Smyrna, Kyle Terzak, Chris Smith, Justin Mulliken, and Carter Hollingsworth. Going to do 15 laps here. The way iRacing sets up these sessions, when you do a heat race format, you actually have to run the B feature or last chance race, whatever you want to say. So even if there's only 4 cars and they're all 4 going to transfer out, you do have to run that race. So Carter Hollingsworth in the 28 to the inside of Justin Mulliken. Chris Smith going to fall back as well. Hollingsworth kind of got shuffled up there. I think he may have gotten into the wall. We're 2 laps in. Kyle Terzak has a big advantage. He's won the last 2 races here in the Leave the Pack Super Series, and with that, we have a league in, or we have a rule in the Leave the Pack iRacing League, I should say. If you win 2 races in a row, you do start from the rear the next race. So Terzak going to be coming from the rear of this field. This is really just for your final 3 starters to finish up their starting order. Where they start here is where they will start in the race. Just 1 spot forward. Terzak leads out front by about 2 seconds down the back straightaway. Did not waste any time. He wants to get as many laps on this race setup as he can before tonight's 125 lap feature. He knows that he has to start from the back. Does not want to jeopardize his chances by getting involved in something early. But we'll watch and see what happens. We're just about halfway through the B feature. Justin Mulliken in the 51 machine. 51 currently sitting 15th in the point standings. Has not had the success early to start this season. Wants to find the top 10 here at New Smyrna tonight. But up front for the points lead, it's been a close battle, but Tracy Petter still leads over Kyle Terzak. Petter, I should say, has not finished worse than second so far this season. Been a dominant display for that 79. But Kyle Terzak's been right there with him. Four laps to go for Kyle Terzak. As he is really starting to open up that gap now. And you can tell that he's comfortable in that race car. We'll go on board and watch his steering inputs here. Drives down into the corner, does not put too much wheel getting it to turn down off. And it drives up nice, or drives up off the corner nice. One thing that you're going to want all night here is drive up off the corner. Going to be very crucial to get the car up off the corner and get the run down the straightaways. But I'm excited for this one. 125 laps. These guys do have a set of tires in the pits to kind of throw a wrench in the strategy. So we may see pit stops. Some drivers may try to stretch the whole thing on 125 laps on that same set of tires. We'll just have to see how the race plays out. I'd say if we get a green flag run like we saw last week, it could be pit stops. If we get cautions, they may keep the cars on track, as B feature does finish up. Kyle Terzak brings the machine to rest on the backstretch. Carter Hollingsworth as well. And it is time for our warm-up session. I'm going to step away, grab a quick drink of water before tonight's Tipsy Tuesdays 125. You guys grab a drink yourself. It doesn't have to be water, but be right back in just one moment on the WD Broadcasting Network. Alrighty, folks, we are back here on the WD Broadcasting Network, getting ready to go racing here in the Tipsy Tuesdays 125 at the New Smyrna Speedway. Everybody making their final adjustments to these setups. They want to see where they're at on the race pace. Let's see what times we've got on the left side of our screen. Looks like Tracy Petter still quick time here in the final warm-up as well. Everybody obviously on their race setups this time around. A little bit slower than the lap times we were seeing in practice, at least on race trim. But this one just about ready to go. We've got 24 cars bringing them to the green. It's going to be a competitive field. We'll look at the qualifying results one time before we send them green right here. Look how close this field was at the front. Petter qualified quick time. Christian Peterson, 17 1/1000ths off. And then very close, the rest of the field on back. Look at it one more time. 5/10ths back to Clint Walker in the O2 machine. Up in front of him, really only 2/10ths back to the 15th spot, Logan Drumheller. So that's going to make for an exciting race. These guys are going to be very close on time all night long. And let's see what kind of race that sets us up for. We'll look at the starting grid as the field makes their way to the grid. Try to get a good look of our starting grid there. There we go. On the pole, it's going to be the number 79 machine, your fast qualifier here tonight. He's got one win so far this season. That's Tracy Petter to his outside. It'll be Christian Peterson in the 23 machine. Starting in the third spot, it's going to be Stephen Choate in the 72. Good qualifying effort from him. And then Connor Knowlton in the number 2, going to start fourth to his outside. Zach Murphy in the number 29, going to roll off from the 5th spot here tonight, next to James Pileski in the number 93, who starts 6th. Brian Gravel in the 22, going to start from the 7th spot next to Chris Shepard in the 19, starting 8th. Ryan Pittman on the inside of row number 5, going to start in the 9th spot next to Brandon Elvis in the 54, rounds out your top 10 starters. Anthony Romeo in the 88 machine, going to start from the 11th spot next to Connor Lee, who will start 18th in this one. Back behind them, rounding out our starting field, it's going to be Brandon Atkinson, the inside of row number 7 to his outside, Jaden Russell in the 11 machine. Starting 15th, it's Logan Drumheller in the 5. Then to his outside, Justin Coleman in the 14. 17th starter is going to be Gavin Gardner in the number 55. To his outside, it'll be Jeremiah Woods Jr. in the triple 2s. Caleb Thompson and Clint Walker going to make up your last qualifying entries. And then the rest of them are your last chance qualifying transfers. And we are green here at New Smyrna. Down into turns 1 and 2. Tracy Petter tries to take the early advantage. He does. Meanwhile, Connor Knowlton going to sneak to the inside of Christian Peterson, 3 wide, down into turn number 3. Everybody makes it through. They're 3 wide, a little bit further on back. Brandon Elvis had to back out of that one. Everybody trying to get settled in here early on. This is a long 125 lap race. As up front, Tracy Petter holds the early advantage. He's got Connor Knowlton back behind him. Stephen Choate sits in the 3rd spot. And the yellow flag is out. Caleb Thompson in the 04 machine. I think was stopped on the front stretch. Let's look at what happened. '15 machine, I think he got loose. The 51 of Mulliken got loose off of 4. See if we can't look at that one more time. We'll go on board with the 51 down into 3. You can see just got a little bit loose through the center and could not get that car gathered back up. And around goes Justin Mulliken. Puts us under caution for the first time here tonight. Tracy Petter gets a good jump on that restart. He was able to take the lead. Connor Knowlton got a really good jump. He shot out of a cannon. Started 4th. Got to the outside of Christian Peterson. Peterson did not have the best launch out of turns 1 and 2 on that first lap. And under caution quickly here. Just 4 laps in at New Smyrna. Looks like we got a Steven Choate fan in the chat. Steven's having a good run here so far. It took a lot to get him comfortable with this track here tonight, but I think he's finally maybe taking a liking to it, sitting in the 3rd spot. When we were practicing early on, Steven was having a little bit of trouble, but right now it looks like he's got it figured out. Running 3rd. We'll see what he can do on this restart, starting behind your race leader, Tracy Petter. Pace car going to drop to the safety of pit road. It's going to be in the hands of the 79 machine. And through the RJW21 management restart zone they go. And we're back racing down into 1. Good launch for the 79 of Tracy Petter. He'll have a good run down the back straightaway, and he'll be clear of Connor Knowlton down into turn 3. You see the field go by right there. Still single file up front, but here comes Christian Peterson. Sorry, that's James Pileski to the inside of Christian Peterson. Pileski once up into the top 5 here early on. He's got Brian Gravel back behind him in the 22. Gravel in the 22 trying to make that shorter lane around this one work. It is hard to get the run down the back. You see that 23 get a much better run on the top side of the racetrack, but Gravel's still able to keep the power down. I think he's going to be able to maybe clear this time down into 1 and 2. You see the cut he's got off the corner. He will take that spot away. A little bit further back, Anthony Romeo. Oh, to the inside of Ryan Pittman. Pittman's going to be up top 3 wide. And oh, Elvis in the 54 spins to the bottom side of the racetrack. And that's going to bring out the caution flag. We saw him 3 wide right there off of 4. Ryan Pittman in the 08 machine. Spun to the inside. He was up to the outside. Rather, was 3 wide, and then Elvis spun to the inside. Let's watch that back one more time. That was Brandon Atkinson on the inside of Brandon Elvis. And then I think the 54 may have just came down on the 55 of Gavin Gardner. I'm not sure if he was checking up there or what exactly happened. Let's watch this one more time. Yeah, I think the 54 was trying to get back down into line, just did not quite have the gap there. Caution flag comes back out for the 2nd time here this evening. Look at our full standings on the left side as they run. I believe at this moment everybody's still on the lead lap. Brandon Elvis is down pit road in the number 54 machine, but he's rolling back out there, going to remain on the lead lap. I want to try to get maybe one more, maybe a better look at what happened right there. This is the lap before. We're going to try to go from an up above view here. You see the 08 get a big run up to the top and then kind of loses the nose, checks up, goes to the outside, and then watch the 54 machine. I think just tried to come back down. I don't know if he was loose. I'll try to go on board here with the 54. How about that? No, I don't know. I think he was just coming down the racetrack and misjudged that gap maybe. But nonetheless, Elvis back to the 23rd spot after that mishap. The field ready to go back green. Couple single car spins to start things off. See what they can do. Nice early jump from the 79 of Tracy Petter. And back through the restart zone, we're back racing. Down the back straightaway, Tracy Petter takes the advantage. Meanwhile, Steven Choate, he's got James Pileski to his outside. Look at Pileski in the 93 machine. He's having a good run here early on. Pileski on that outside lane, the longer way around, but often the preferred way around here at New Smyrna. And oh, Brian Grable thought about peeking to the inside. James Pileski shut the door down into 3. Grable gave him a little bit of grace right there. Backed out, and both drivers going to keep going. But an exciting moment there as we look a little bit further back. Gavin Gardner trying to work his way to the front underneath Anthony Romeo. That's for the 9th spot on track. And this is going to show us how hard it is to pass here tonight. New Smyrna has historically been very tough to pass at, especially here in the supers. You can just motor the car on the outside lane, and it's just really hard to get that run built up. You see Gardner makes a little contact. And I think Romeo is going to slip up just a little bit. Really, you just have to get your nose pointed in front down into 3, because you can get the run up off the bottom in 3 and 4, but not in 1 and 2. You just cannot drive up and clear somebody off the corner. Gardner makes a nice pass there back behind him. That's Chris Shepard to the inside of Connor Lee. Lee up top in the 18, Shepard down low in the 19. They rub doors on the front stretch a little bit. Justin Coleman in the 14. I was worried that Coleman was not going to make this race. He got in here very late in the practice session, currently running in the 14th spot. Not too bad for a guy that did not have too much practice coming into the drop of the green flag. Oh, and Chris Shepard gets loose. Up the racetrack he goes. That's going to check both of those drivers up. Connor Lee going to lose some spots as well. Shepard got down into turn number 3, kind of lost the rear end a little bit. He had to get out of the throttle and save that race car. Oftentimes, turns 3 and 4 here can be very treacherous. You see Connor Lee to the inside of Chris Shepard there. And up in front of him, Kyle Terzak to the back bumper of Justin Coleman here. Terzak started at the rear of this field. Remember, he started 24th on the grid, trying to work his way back forward. He's won the past 2 races. We'll see if he can win another. He looks to the inside of Justin Coleman. Coleman gives him room up on the top side. 15 to the inside, just has not been able to get that run. And oh, Coleman, a little loose on the outside lane there. Going to lose some ground. That'll give the spot to the 15. As you see Zach Murphy get around Christian Peterson. That is for the 6th spot on the racetrack. It looked like the 23 of Peterson may have gone up the racetrack and given a little grace to the 29 of Murphy. Is look at this group, 2nd through 5th right there, all bunched up nose to tail. Tracy Petter's got just about a 2-second advantage, but he's got Connor Knowlton with 3 other drivers bunched up in a line. We are 30 laps into this one. Your top 5 is Tracy Petter, Connor Knowlton, Steven Choate, James Pileski, and Brian Grable. Bottom 4 all right here on your screen. Nose to tail will go on board with James Pileski. He's got a good view of the action up in front of him. And also Brian Grable right back behind him in his mirror. Ooh, Grable a little bit loose that time. Had to get out of the throttle, and these cars are very tough on the exit of the corner. They're fast and they're a lot of fun, but you really have to get into a rhythm when driving them, or it is very easy to make a mistake. You can see up front, Tracy Petter absolutely has that machine dialed in. Last time around, about a 1/10.5 quicker than the rest of the field. So he has definitely got that machine figured out early on. We'll have to see what tire strategy looks like, because these guys will have to be the fastest car on the racetrack and then also make the right call on pit road. So we'll keep an eye on that. We've got a battle of the 15s. Brandon Atkinson up top with the yellow numbers. Kyle Terzak to the bottom. Terzak going to slide in front. He'll move up to 9th. So a good run to the front here in the first half of this one for Kyle Terzak. Steven Choate got James Pileski right on his back bumper, but Pileski, don't think quite has the drive off that the 72 does at this moment. You can see him get down into the corner, but just not able to drive back up to the 72's back bumper off the corner. And that is the big thing here. You have to have the drive up, off, and down the straightaway. Tracy Petter leads down into turn number 3, and look at the gap that he's got on second place, Connor Knowlton. He's got the rest of the pack right back behind him, but that 79 machine really in his own zip code at the beginning of this one. The field getting fairly spread out. We are 40 laps into this race. There are no competition cautions here in Leave the Pack. These guys will go green as long as they can. Oh, and James Pileski, all kinds of sideways out of 2 that time. He held on to that race car, but now he's got Brian Grable peeking to the outside. I think Grable's going to go by here on that outside lane. But man, that 93 was all kinds of sideways on the exit of 2. Great save from Pileski. Coming up off the corner right there, the car likes to get really light in the back end. It tends to be a little floaty as you see the number 2 of Connor Knowlton up front. That car started to step out a little bit. Some of these drivers might be starting to experience some handling issues early on. Back behind him, Gavin Gardner gets around Christian Peterson. Gardner takes over the 7th spot. Peterson started 2nd in this one. So far has not been able to work forward. He's actually fallen back to the 8th spot as Gavin Gardner got by just then. We'll keep an eye on the 23. Remember, this is a long race still. 45 laps in. I'll be curious to see what the tire strategy looks like if we get a caution soon. You see the 55 of Gavin Gardner. Down to the inside, he'll take that spot away from Zach Murphy, so move Gardner to the 6th position. Tracy Petter's lead is 4.4 seconds out front. He is starting to close in on lap traffic. The first driver he's going to reach is Clint Walker in the number 02. Back behind, Christian Peterson and Zach Murphy are side by side. Here comes Kyle Terzak. Going to try to sneak to the bottom as well. He'll go by Zach Murphy. Now Kyle Terzak up to the 8th spot, trying to take 7th away from Christian Peterson. Peterson going to give plenty of room to the inside. And Terzak going to take that spot away here on lap number 50. He's working his way towards the front. He's inside of the top 10 up to 7th. Still got quite a ways to go if he wants a shot at a victory here tonight. But it's a good first half of the race for that number 15. Tracy Petter's lead now 5 seconds out of corner number 4. He has found something here tonight. You can see him up off the corner, not really having to put too much into that race car. You can see he gets down into the center, maybe a little push. He's able to drive in, not have to pedal it too much. He can get down the back straightaway with a good run. That's what's keeping this 79 machine out front. Brian Grable in the 22. In the 3rd spot. Sorry, in the 4th spot. As, Justin Coleman brings the 14 machine down pit road. Oh, no. I think he lost his nose, and I was afraid for when this might happen. I want to watch what happened here. And I think it just may have. I don't know if it was the lap before. No, I'm not sure. We'll have to go back and look at what happened to Justin Coleman there. But this field's still clean and green. Justin Coleman pulls that machine pit side. A tough break for the number 14. Now Gavin Gardner closing into the back bumper of James Pileski. That'd be for the final spot in the top 5. Gavin's had a pretty good season so far. He's currently sitting in the 5th spot in the points. He's got 2 top 5 finishes to his name so far. He's trying to go 3 in a row here at New Smyrna. Pileski was able to get the position that time. Meanwhile, up in front of him, Brian Grable starting to put some pressure on Stephen Choate in the 72. I think Choate starting to get a little bit free in that race car. You can see him fighting the back end off the corner. We are approaching lap 60 here as Tracy Petter works his way out of turn 4. Man, that lead already almost up to 6 seconds. Oh, no. Oh, and up front, Stephen Choate gets loose down to the bottom. Grable going to take that spot. Choate recovers nicely. But Brian Grable going to sneak up into the 3rd spot. He'll set his sights on Connor Knowlton. I think we are back there. We may have lost connection. I'm not quite sure. I lost connection on my end. I hope you guys did not. We should be all back, but Brian Grable up to the 3rd spot. Tracy Petter, his lead up to 6 seconds. Kyle Terzak now to the inside of Gavin Gardner, trying to fight for the 6th spot as here comes James Pileski underneath Stephen Choate. His driver's starting to want to move towards the front now. We are past the halfway point. You see James Pileski to the inside of Stephen Choate right there. Gavin Gardner going to try to follow in the 55 as Choate goes way up the racetrack there. Looks like Kyle Terzak even going to follow suit on that inside lane. Now with these long green flag runs that we've had here, the tire is definitely going to look a little bit different as how Gavin Gardner thought about going to the inside underneath James Pileski there. Pileski shut the door off the corner. A little bit further back, this is Chris Smith trying to take a peek underneath Ryan Pittman for the 12th spot. As Anthony Romeo in the 88 machine moves up the racetrack a little bit, he'll lose a spot to Ryan Pittman. Chris Smith going to try to follow as well. I think the 80 of Chris Smith going to follow through. He'll take that spot away. We look back up to the front. Well, second, I should say. Connor Knowlton's got Brian Grable starting to look a little bit bigger in his rear view mirror. As Brandon Elvis in the 54 machine, I think he may be calling it a night as he brings it pit side. Not sure if he is calling it a day or if there's a strategy play at hand here. We'll keep an eye on the 54, see if he gets back out there. As now Connor Knowlton has got Brian Grable's 22 all over his back bumper, hounding him for that second spot. You can see Grable really close through the center of the corner. He's holding right there up off, but Knowlton just has a little bit more throttle, and he can pull ahead at the end of the straightaway. This time by, it'll be 50 laps to go for Tracy Petter, 50 to go for the 79, and he's got lap traffic starting to really creep into view now. He has put a couple of cars a lap down, but he's got a more dense group of cars up in front of him, consisting of Logan Drumheller, Chris Shepard, Herder Hollingsworth is right there as well. All those drivers starting to creep into Tracy Petter's view. Granted, he does have quite a bit of cushion for the lead up front. To the inside of Connor Lee. Lee's a little bit loose up on the top, but I think he's going to take that spot away. Oh, and Brian Grable gets tagged by the back of James Pileski, and Pileski goes around down into turn number 1. Oh, tough break for James Pileski. He was running in the fourth spot and got in a little bit too hot, I think, down into 1. Grabbed the back bumper of Brian Grable, and around he went. Let's look at it one more time. This is down the front stretch here. You can see the 22 go into the corner. I think the 93 of Pileski just got in a little hot there and tagged Grable. Grable was able to save it, but Pileski brought it to a stop. I think that was also Steven Choate that brought that machine in there as well. But now it is time for these drivers to do pit stops. The 79 machine going to take right sides. Surely we are going to see a lot of drivers only taking right side tires. Tracy Petter going to come out of the pits. He will be your leader. Connor Knowlton's going to be second. Brian Grable is going to be third. Now these drivers are going to have a shot with fresh right side tires. It'll be under a 50 lap shootout. We got about 45 to go. Tracy Petter is going to be your race leader. We've got a couple cars a lap down in front of him. Steven Choate in the 72 machine, unfortunately, I think did lose a lap with that whole exchange. And now it's going to be Tracy Petter and Connor Knowlton bringing us to the green. Knowlton on the bottom, Terzak in the fourth spot back behind him. Watch that 15 car here. We go back through the restart zone. We're back underway. Great jump from the 79 of Tracy Petter. And now down into turns 1 and 2. Grable leans on the 15 of Kyle Terzak a little bit. Terzak going to get the run to the top side, and back under yellow they go. They may have had trouble back behind them. I think Anthony Romeo turned around. It's Brandon Elvis looking the wrong way as well. Let's see what happened there down the back straightaway. Oh, it looked like the 15 of Brandon Atkinson came up across the nose of James Pileski. I want to say it was Chris Smith. Yeah, Chris Smith was out there as well. You can see the 15 up in the air. Big time damage on that race car. But a big incident here. We've seen relatively small wrecks so far, but that one was a big one down the back straightaway. Puts us under yellow for the 4th time here tonight. More drivers coming down pit road to get a little bit of damage fixed before we go back green. Now Tracy Petter going to come back around. He'll take the top side once again. Row 2 is going to look a little different. Kyle Terzak was able to get in front of the 22 of Brian Grable, but Grable going to be back to the outside on this attempt. Let's see what happens down into 1. We'll see if that 2 machine can get a good run on the inside. He's had a good run in that 2nd spot. Can he get 1 spot better? Pace car is off. And through turns 3 and 4 they go. Oh, Knowlton gets a better jump than the 79 that time. And Connor Knowlton going to lead the field down into turns 1 and 2. Connor Knowlton leads down the back straightaway. I think Petter tried to maybe cut down on that restart. Knowlton did not let him move. He held him tight. And they both fired at the same time. The 2 machine takes the lead here out front at New Smyrna. Oh, and there's contact back behind. And a couple of cars spun around. Zach Murphy spun around, in the whole field piling in. Steven Choate all the way up over in the 72. And that one was a big one. As I think Gavin Gardner in the 55 may have grabbed the 29 of Zach Murphy off the corner. Let's watch again. Oh, I think he just got loose and tagged the 29 after contact. Look at it the lap before here. different view. Murphy gets down to the bottom of the racetrack, and then I think this gets a little bit tight and maybe grabs a 55, and you can see the other cars piling in. James Pileski. Stephen Choate went all the way up over Zach Murphy there. Holy. Watch that from his perspective in the 72 to see what he saw. You can see he's got the brakes and then gets packed from behind. Not what you wanted to see for the 72 of Stephen Choate. There's now several cars coming down pit road, and this thing is looking a little bit different now, as Connor Knowlton is your leader. He takes the lead on that restart. I think Petter made a little bit of an error. Knowlton timed him up really good. And then as soon as Petter went, Knowlton was right there to hold him tight. We're closing in on 30 laps to go. The lights go out on the iRacing.com pace car here. Now Connor Knowlton going to bring us back to the green. With Tracy Petter in the second spot. Brian Grable third. Kyle Terzak fourth. Let's see what Knowlton can do here on this restart. Oh, Petter did not get a good jump there. Knowlton going to leave him in the dust down into 1 and 2. Here comes Brian Grable looking to the outside. Brian Grable won the last time the LTP Super Series came to New Smyrna. He's trying to go back-to-back. But Terzak going to get the run to the inside, move Grable back to fourth. As now Connor Knowlton leads with 30 laps to go. Back behind, Connor Lee on the outside of Logan Drumheller. Drumheller in the 5 machine trying to make that car work around the bottom side, but looks like the 18 of Lee has the advantage at this time. Back behind, Tracy Petter just set the fastest lap of the race, but Kyle Terzak is right there, and both of those two are very close on time. It'll be an interesting battle with those two, but they've both got to get around Connor Knowlton. Let's see what Connor can do in the 2 machine. He's got Petter right there on his back bumper. He's going to have to try and hold him tight. 27 laps to go. Knowlton got the jump on the restart, was able to get a run to the inside. And now Connor Knowlton having to hold off that 79 machine of Tracy Petter. Petter looking inside and out, trying to get the run up off the corner so he can make a lunge into 3. He may have it here, but I think Knowlton going to try to keep the door closed, and he does. Tracy Petter not able to get the run through the bottom. Now you can see him really going up the track through 1 and 2, just trying to get that run to the inside. But at this moment, Connor Knowlton's got that machine doing what it needs to do. "23 laps to go at the line this time. Your top 3 nose to tail. Kyle Terzak waiting in the wings. He's sure wanting to try to let Tracy Petter get around Connor Knowlton first, and then use that pass to get some wear out of Petter's tires here. But with 22 laps to go, the time is starting to run out. You're one of these drivers up in the top 3. Connor Knowlton in the 2 machine, holding Petter at bay. But for how much longer can he do it? He's got 21 laps left. I'm sure these are going to be the longest 25 or 21 laps Connor Knowlton has ever driven. Header looks to the inside, kind of scoots the 2 machine up off the bottom a little bit, but can he keep it there off the corner? I think Connor Knowlton going to be able to close. Maybe not. He'll drive up on the outside lane. He'll get the run on the top side, and he'll keep that spot down into turn number 3. And the 79 of Petter keeps the nose in there, makes a little contact down into 3. But Connor Knowlton going to keep it out in front. Knowlton put the elbows out there. Did not want to let that 79 machine to the inside. You can see him creep into the inside right there. Kind of gets into the left rear center of the corner. Here's down into 1. Oh, big time contact that time. The 79 kind of drives into the left side door of Connor Knowlton. Let's see what Knowlton can do. Trying to hold him off on the top side, and now Knowlton a little loose in turns 3 and 4. That's going to hand the lead back to Tracy Petter. Back down into 1. Tracy Petter in the 79 going to take that top spot away. Now Connor Knowlton going to try to hang on for a second as he's got Kyle Terzak to his inside. Terzak to the bottom. Knowlton up top. Now Kyle Terzak going to throw a slide job there. Knowlton going to have to check up and fall back in line. And now Kyle Terzak is going to have 15 laps to track down Tracy Petter, who runs in the sector, runs on the point. Terzak all over the back bumper of Petter right there. Coming back to 13 to go. What can the 15 machine do here? Terzak trying to take that top spot away. He's got Tracy Petter right in front of him. Petter running the defensive line on that outside lane, just trying to keep the runs built up off of the corner. But we're coming back to 11 laps to go. The time is running out if you're Kyle Terzak. Both drivers dead even that last time by. Give the slight advantage to the 15 of Terzak, if any. Terzak right there in the number 15. Painting the back bumper of Tracy Petter. Meanwhile, Brian Grable trying to close the gap for third. The top 2 so close to that outside wall coming out of 4. You definitely have to use all of that room that is given to you. Terzak to the inside, 8 to go this time. Here comes Terzak taking a look to the inside. He'll drive to the bottom. Petter going to use the outside lane and get the motor off of 4. He will lead with 7 laps to go. Kyle Terzak right there in P2. 6 to go here for Tracy Petter. We're watching the battle up front. As once again, Terzak looks to the inside, just cannot get the run to the bottom. 5 to go for Tracy Petter. '79 using that second lane, even if that 15 of Terzak isn't to his inside. He's up in that second groove, just driving up off the corner. Terzak at this moment just can't get the car rotated enough to drive up off. But it's 3 laps to go this time. 3 to go for Tracy Petter. Anthony Romeo getting up and out of the way of your 2 race leaders. And now the time is almost out. 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 to go for Tracy Petter. Does Kyle Terzak have anything left in the tank? He's about a car length back, but can he get the job done? White flag coming out, final time around. 1 lap to go at New Smyrna. Final time down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. I don't think Kyle Terzak is going to have enough of a run to get there. And out of turns 3 and 4 for the second time this season, Tracy Petter wins in the Leave the Pack Super Series. He wins at New Smyrna in the Tipsy Tuesdays 125. Shout out to Tracy Petter for picking up the victory. Connor Knowlton third. Kyle Terzak came home second. Those are your 3 drivers that we're going to grab a word from really quickly here. Try and get them up in the booth as soon as they get out of the cars. Alrighty, up in the broadcast booth. 3rd place finisher here tonight, Connor Knowlton. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, well, P3, you were very close to maybe stealing one there. I don't know what happened on that restart. I think Zach might have kind of drove down into you, and then when that happened, you both kind of launched at the same time, and that gave you the lead because it kind of checked up his start. You were the leader, but they did get back around. You just couldn't quite hold them off there in those final 25 laps.
Yeah, I didn't have it. Both Terzak and Petter were both faster than me tonight, and on that restart, I think him starting on the outside, it's tough because I'm trying to, watch him, not be in front of him, watch where the pace car is, try and time to start out. So I think I just lost where my markings were, my bearings were in the corner, and as he started to peel down the track to kind of straight line his exit, I was still there, and he bounced off me, and I took the lead. I felt bad, but he raced me really hard. He raced me really clean for it. And yeah, he definitely deserved it. So I fell back to 3rd, and I felt like we were a 3rd place car tonight.
Yeah, great run nonetheless for the 2 machine. Get a bounce back up, get another podium here in the Lead the Pack Super Series. Who do you have to thank for another podium finish here at New Smyrna?
I'd like to give a shout out to Just the Top Media. I'm Lefty Designs, KST Graphics, Twist Speed setups for the good car tonight. Went a little tight, but we'll tweak it. We'll make it work. And of course, WD Broadcasting for putting it on. Always a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time here tonight. We did not have nearly as many yellow flags as I expected, and I think as you guys expected either. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are wore out after that.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired.
Alrighty, well, congratulations to you on your 3rd place run here, Connor. We'll hopefully talk to you next week.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, let's talk to our 2nd place finisher. Get him up into the broadcast booth. See if we can't grab him. Kyle Terzak came from the rear here tonight, just 1 spot short. Couldn't quite get around Tracy there in those final couple laps.
Yeah, I had a pretty fun time coming back for the field. Kind of got a little dead right there. Couldn't really pass there, and that caution came out, and I knew that, obviously we had to take tires there, but I knew that, that would be a prime time to, try to get some spots. So did that pretty good, and got to Tracy, and I just knew that he was pretty good. He could turn a little bit better than me, but I feel like on the long run I was getting better than him, and had a couple chances, but just couldn't get around him. So congrats to him. Really good race to everybody. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun here tonight. I mentioned to Connor, I think a lot less cautions than many of us expected here tonight. New Smyrna, it's a bigger track, but for some reason races like a little bull ring, and we didn't have that chaos here tonight. We only had maybe 4 or 5 cautions, and it allowed you guys to get spread out. We saw a couple of those long runs, like you said. Car looked good on the long run. We did see you drive up through the field. Ultimately, P2 here tonight. Who do you have to thank?
I want to thank you for putting this on, RJ, up in the admin booth. RK side, Hotshot Photography, the best iRacing photos. Turzak Racing on Facebook. Corey Bodie Designs, or Raps, rather. Everybody's watching back at home.
Alrighty, well, congratulations to you, Kyle. It was fun watching you drive through the field. You got up to the 2nd spot here tonight. We wish you luck next week at Hickory.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, let's grab a word from our winner here tonight, Tracy Petter. Let's see if we can't get him up into the booth. Winner here for the 2nd time this season, Tracy Petter, up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Alrighty, well, 2nd win of the season. I think you maybe won your races a little bit more strategically compared to Kyle, because now you can win another race and get the one up on him next week and not be at the rear already. But nonetheless, good run for you here tonight. I think you had the car to beat. Had a little scare there when Knowlton got around you on that one restart. Don't know what exactly happened, but you didn't let it phase you. Still put it in victory lane.
Yeah, so he was riding up right next to my door, and right when I went to go touch the gas and point the car down the track, it got into my left quarter a little bit. Nothing intentional, obviously, but it just snapped my car sideways, and I just had to save it from there. But other than that, car felt good. After we took the tires, it went pretty tight. I would have liked to start the car overall looser.
Yeah, the loose car at the beginning of this one, at the beginning of these races, definitely helps because the track builds tighter and tighter, and especially when you have to put those tires on, that's going to tighten up the car even more. So I know a lot of these guys have had a little bit of a struggle not having these cars loose enough at the beginning, but it looked like you had it figured out here tonight. At one point, I think I looked up, and the lead was 7 seconds at some point in that first run, so 79 was definitely the class of the field here this evening. Who do you have to thank for such a fast race car?
Obviously, the guys at API and you for broadcasting it.
Alrighty, well, we've got Hickory next week, Tracy. How do you feel about maybe going 2 in a row? Got a long 200-lapper there next week.
Typically one of my worst tracks, so we'll have to see what I got for Turk and Connor. Typically it goes to a high side dominant can't pass track, so definitely track position is going to be key.
Alrighty, well, congratulations to you on another victory here in the Leave the Pack iRacing League, and hopefully we can talk to you more throughout the season.
Thank you. You have a good one.
Yes, sir. You too. Alrighty, folks, that was your winner here tonight, 79 machine of Tracy Petter. Let's go through a quick rundown of our finishing results. Let's see if we can't get them up on screen. There we go. Tracy Petter, your winner. Kyle Turzak, 2nd. Connor Knowlton, 3rd. Brian Gravel, 4th. Justin Mulliken, 5th. Carter Hollingsworth, 6th. Connor Lee, 7th. Christian Peterson, 8th. Gavin Gardner, 9th. Logan Drumheller comes home 10th. Caleb Thompson, 11th. Clint Walker, 12th. Anthony Romeo, 13th. Jaden Russell, 14th. Zach Murphy, 15th. Ryan Pittman, 16th. Brandon Elvis, 17th. James Pileski, 18th. Chris Smith, 19th. Chris Shepard comes home in the 20th spot. And rounding out our field back behind him is Jeremiah Woods, Stephen Choate, Brandon Atkinson, and Justin Coleman. So that's going to do it for us here tonight. Look at the schedule coming up. We've got Hickory next week and then Myrtle Beach after that. The Barry Elvis Performance in Fab 150. That one's going to be a fun one. Myrtle Beach is a fan favorite and a driver favorite here in Leave the Pack. So it's going to be a fun race there. You won't want to miss that one. But we thank you guys for tuning in here tonight. You'll catch us right back here on the WD Broadcasting Network on Thursday night for the Trackmaster Sim Series. Race 2 of their season. You won't want to miss that at Southern National. But until next time, I am your host, Winston Deal, signing it off. Hit that red subscribe button for more iRacing content. But you guys have a great night. Take it easy.